Welcome to the Disability Myth, the podcast where we explore the realities of disability with handsomeness, humility, and hamminess. My name's Dominic, and I was born with a fatal neuromuscular condition called spinal muscular atrophy. My co-host, Uriel, and I tackle serious issues, but we don't take ourselves too seriously.
SMA and boats. How did that go?
SMA and boats?
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, boats are just not as wheelchairs. We're here to share stories, break down barriers, and remind everyone that we're not so different. So hit subscribe and let's shed light on some myths. Hello there. Welcome back to another episode of, yes, the LeBron James, yes, the Disability Myth. I'm your handsome, humble, and hammy host, as always, Dominic Trevathan. Alongside me, as always, the equally handsome, humble, hammeroni.
Uriel, hi.
Yeah,
What's up? What's good?
what's popping?
A change of pace. No guest. No guest. No
No
problem.
guest.
No ham. No cheese. No bread. No crust. With the Cheetos on the side. You and I.
Takis.
No, I'm good. Even though I eat them, I feel guilty about eating them, and they are running amok in my tummy lining. Let me tell you, I should not be eating those. You know, like leave those to the kids to eat.
The kids,
A
not
wise
us.
man once said, youth is wasted on the young.
Yep.
And little do they know that that red 40 hitting me. It's like the red 40 doing numbers out here. I should not be eating that stuff. Let me tell you.
So, as my compadre here said, today we have no guests, just the two of us.
We can make it if we try, just the two of us. I don't think I could sing that.
I know we had this whole discussion before in
About
season one.
copyright
Yeah,
shenanigans. I don't know. I don't know. No, I think we're singing it so out of tune that the bots won't catch it.
the boss.
No, the bots.
Oh, the bots. I was like,
Yeah,
who's the
because I
boss?
believe um companies pay and have like thousands of bots that like just like observe people's shit and they just like flag whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
Specifically in Russia, I've been flagged a lot because sometimes I post stuff on my Instagram, just like me playing guitar or whatever, and sometimes I can't have any music in the background like at all.
That sucks.
And like I've gotten like a lot of DMs from like random like Russian like stuff like, oh, in the country of Russia, like this is banned, this is like you can't play this. I'm like, okay,
Oh,
yep. So anyway,
well, anyway,
questions,
questions.
many questions
We have
were
a
asked.
plethora of questions today.
A
That were
cacophony.
a cacophony. Yes, good word, buddy.
Yeah, I
You
think that's
must
more sound.
you must go to college.
No, no, I'm dragging my mud from my body. We call it, let
Yeah,
me tell
because
you.
that's how that phrase goes. Yeah.
Yeah, running the body for the muck.
Yeah. So, as we had probably mentioned last season, we had gone to our local high school that we graduated from,
Yeah,
and I had done some speaking to a few classes.
freshman class, to
Fresh,
be
it was
specific.
pretty much all freshmen. Yeah.
I believe they all were. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And we actually had gotten letters written from the freshmen.
A lot of cute letters.
Very, very cool, very cash
Some
money,
very mindful.
very demure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Asking questions that they didn't get the chance to ask during the actual talks that I was giving. So we thought it'd be fun to kind of take an episode and just run through each of our answers. They were intended for me, but I think it'd be fun to know Uriel's answers to some of these
No, I'm
questions.
good. It's all about you.
No,
I'm good.
well, because if it's just me
Uh,
answering, then like it's kind of boring.
I mean, you see my hat. I mean, these are tailored for you, but who cares? Like
We,
I'm cool, you know.
we ball.
And we ball. Yeah,
We ball.
boy, we ball. I miss the faucet guy.
The what guy?
The dude that's like the public water guy.
Oh, yeah, dog.
Yeah, dog. Yeah,
If you
dog.
know,
You
you
know.
know.
Yeah. So let's get into it. If there was one thing you wished you could do that you can't because of your disability, what would it be?
P standing up.
We still got to do that.
Got her.
Was it the University of Santa Barbara or Santa Barbara City College that has the mythical bathroom that Bryce said.
UCSB.
We're gonna have to get on campus. I am
You
perf
may why do you say get on campus? Is that you make it sound like we're breaking in?
It is a pretty open campus, huh?
It's the public university.
Is it? Oh, then who cares? Yeah, we're gonna pull up and like piss standing up. Stop us. Try to stop us. And then,
Come at me.
huh?
Yeah.
We'll we'll bite your ankles. Show him dumb. Elevate. Elevate. Show him his boss. You're 5'8" on a good day. That's right. 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 That's right.
Yeah.
Now imagine that coming at you at a full
5 miles an hour.
final decapitated,
Done.
done. Nobody's gonna stop this man from pissing up. Pissing standing up. Am I right?
You're right.
On God.
You're so right, bro.
Oh gosh. So that's a funny why just to see how what it feels like? Because let me tell you, as someone that could piss standing up, it's like whatever.
I mean, it's more so I think just the sense that like it's one of those things I've never been able to do. You can check it off the list, you know? Like what's
Mm,
something that you really want to do that you have not yet done?
uh, honestly,
Hmm.
milk a cow.
Just like milking a cow. It's the same feeling of like I want that, you know?
Yeah, it's because I've milked um goats, sheep, but I've never milked a cow. I've never had the satisfaction just like getting under there and just like boop boop
It's
boop.
just always something that's eluded you, maybe,
Yeah,
you know?
also I could ask like I can answer like very specific questions, like really deep, oh, sorry, deep answers, like really get really into the nitty gritty and like really ask myself, what do I really want in life? That I think I would rather just keep it simple, you know. Uh,
Fair game,
as is, I could wish for like a bajillion dollars or whatever, but I feel like that'd probably just do more harm than good. But like
probably.
going, I like spending a day on the farm, hanging out with people, and like, can I milk a cow? Like
That's
that's
an experience.
I can do that. I can financially afford that.
Yeah,
I could go anywhere. I can call ahead of time. Look, I really want to milk a cow. That's it,
that's it.
and that'd give me some like dopamine, some satisfaction to keep going. It's like, yep, I milked a cow. That
It's
was
the
awesome.
it's the simple things in
Yeah,
life.
similar to like you pissing, standing up, which we can do.
Potato, potato.
No, we will do.
Will.
Will do. Yeah, because I think well, the biggest thing holding you back is the contractors, right? Like you just, how do
So
we?
so let me explain. I got the inspo from The Fundamentals of Caring. Great
Great
movie.
movie. Yeah.
10 out of 10 if you haven't watched it already. Highly recommend. Uh, this character that's the protagonist in the film, yeah, it's one of his dreams to pee standing up. And so, it's not an original idea. Just I love it. And he got put, I think, on like a stretcher, like a gurney, because there was an ambulance in the film, like nearby in the plot.
That work for your situation?
Well,
You could do it in your chair.
oh, what do you mean? I can't like get vertical in my chair. Like you can lay back.
We'd have to bring like straps.
Hmm. Either that or like you just hold me, like bear hug me in front of your chest.
Yeah, we'll do it.
We'll do it.
Yeah. Like that's for a just more of a reason to go back to the gym.
There you go.
Like I feel like I'm gonna slip a disc trying to do that.
You have a job. You have a mission.
Or just like holding like close to my test. It's like, are you ready? And like he'll be like, yeah.
Don't say it like that.
Like it's like, yeah, I'm ready.
What is with the hand fondling?
I'm trying to, it represents flowing water, but it probably looks more less innocent than that.
So, Udi, what was your favorite class and or teachers growing up at the high school?
Um,
Any teachers that, inspired you?
nope, nope.
Or no?
Yeah. Um, yeah, no, I'm gonna plead the fifth on this.
But
Because like a lot of the my teachers are my coaches, and then a lot of the teachers that weren't my coaches were mentors in clubs, and they did not like me.
oh,
And
what's not to like?
I was struggling in classes, and some of the teachers didn't really help me.
Hmm.
And then I had friends in classes, and they would try to talk to me, but I wouldn't actually talk to them because I
Yeah.
wanted to stay quiet, but I'd always get picked on. So it's like that weird thing where a lot of my classes, I got singled out. Well, at least I felt like I got singled out by a lot of teachers, and I never really had like really close connection or relationship with any of the professor or any of the teachers there, if that makes sense. And
I
nor
get
did I
that.
really try to talk to them.
That's kind of how I was in my freshman year of high school. Uh, Before I moved to Santa Ynez, I lived in Oxnard and I went to Oxnard High my freshman year, and that's how it was for me. I just didn't really try. Um, I would rather, quote unquote, play it safe and hang out in special ed classes
Yeah.
in my free time than make an effort to go out and try to socialize with the people I was in classes with. And yeah, I get that.
And also, I'm like kind of mindful because I know this goes out into the public, into the world, and you've already mentioned like what high school we went to, but just like for protection, I don't want to like drop like too many like crazy names,
Yeah,
but
no, I get
out of
that.
respect and protection for them, even though I didn't like them and we never saw eye to eye. I respect their privacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I'm gonna plead the fifth on that. It's just whatever. I didn't like high school kind of sucked.
Yeah.
So
No, no. I think we definitely had slightly different
I
experiences
mean
in
I had
that
great
regard.
friends. I had a great social life. Like you remember it. Like I had my friends were awesome.
Yeah.
My family was awesome. Teachers, like I definitely had some cool teachers. I definitely did work. I got good grades, but there's some classes, there's some teachers that we did it just did not
Yeah.
work out.
Well, and I mean, I think it's pretty rare to find a teacher in the first place that you just connect with like that.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate to have had that. Uh, the teacher that I went back and spoke for her classes is the one I have in mind. I moved here, I think, the very end of freshman year of high school, and I came into her class for English, and she just always welcomed me and was super cool
Yep.
and nice and friendly and offered to like hang out with me or let me hang out with her in her classroom when, I just moved, didn't know anybody. And she let me use her microwave to warm up my like burritos for
Oh,
lunch.
I take back what I said. I think she's pretty cool. I like her.
Dude, so cool.
Yeah, I had her like twice, but it's one of those things where I liked her, but I didn't really like
Get to
put
know
it,
her.
yeah, put any effort
Yeah.
into like forming any type of like connection.
Yeah, so we're really tight. I still keep in touch with her, and that's how I was fortunate enough to speak for her students. So
Awesome.
she's definitely a big part of what helped get me through high school and do as well as I did.
We're like a little like far removed from the time I went to the high school,
Yeah.
but I remember this question and I remember the context. It's, did you end up working as a psychiatrist as planned?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what I told the high schoolers, and I've probably mentioned it here before, was when I went to UCLA for those 2 years, my goal was to get my degree in psychology, become a psychologist or psychiatrist. And needless to say, spoiler alert, that did not
I never
happen.
thought that it'd be
So
simple,
simple, but
but I
I found
found
a
a way.
way. I
I
found
found
a
a
way.
way. It's not simple at all, actually. You had to change course. Never mind.
Changed majors completely.
Yeah.
Yep. So it worked out for the best, though, I think. I like talking to people, but uh, I don't know. I think it's impossible to want to talk to people all day, every day. I think there's a bit of burnout
For
involved.
sure. I feel we all have a different. social battery capacity.
Yeah, and to
Yeah.
have to do that professionally,
Yeah.
I fear that I would have just burnt out
Yeah. Some people
even
got
more.
the 2000 milliamp. I probably got like a 4000 like milliamp battery. But once it hits like once we're like at 10%, I'm at 10%. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm like when I get like the SOS low battery, I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm going home later.
Yep.
How did you get the courage to inspire so many people?
So this is an interesting question.
You have mixed feelings about the term inspiration.
Yeah, well, and we've talked about this before. It's kind of a touchy subject for me, for some people in the disability community. You know,
Well, since well,
it's almost like when someone says, "Oh, you're an inspiration,"
yeah,
it's objectifying you, right? Because you're
yeah,
they're using the idea of you for personal gain, essentially. That's what it boils down to. And the thing is, though, like, I don't think people do this with malintent.
no,
And that's why I try not to let it like bother me at all.
yeah. I can somewhat relate because like ever since I started working for you, like this has started to come up more often. Or people ask like, "What do I do? What's my job?" And I have to explain to them that I'm like an in-house caretaker. It's like, "Oh, you're so inspirational. That's like really good." It's just like, "How good for you?" And I'm like, I feel a little weird, like thank you. Like I am thankful. I'm like, "Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is pretty cool." I'm like, I'm not gonna like, yeah, this is pretty cool. It's a needed job. Not many people do it. Thumbs up. But at the same time, it feels odd because I'm just doing it.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
and
it's
I,
a, it's an interesting place to be in because like I'm thankful and I appreciate the recognition because I feel when it comes to like nurses, caretakers, even a front of house staff, like I think instead of saying like you're so inspirational, this is like that, I think it's more important to acknowledge um their work and appreciate how do I word it? Acknowledge the difficulty or like the things they have to do and like kind of like reinforce that like they're seen
or just validate
or
them,
like that they're
like
heard. Yeah.
validate the work that they do. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I get that. And just to kind of put a bookend on this answer, going to the courage part, how do I find the courage to do this? Well, it's like I said, it's not intentional all the time. It's just
You just wake up.
I just wake up,
Yeah, you just got to do it. Do
people
my thing.
people may see me and get inspiration, and if that's the case, that's cool. But it's not always my intention. I think more so lately, my intention with what I do as far as speaking and um, doing the podcast and radio work that I do,
It's become more refined. Like I feel
it's
you're like it used to be like a house. I know a house is a bad analogy, but it used to be like really broad,
yeah,
and I think you've been narrowing it down more.
yeah. Well, I was telling Uriel this the other day. The more we kind of talk to people, more episodes we make, the more I feel like this podcast is becoming not so much a platform for me to practice my speaking,
Yeah.
but a resource, if nothing else, for people to
Yeah.
learn from others, to get, insights on different experiences, right?
Yeah, because I touched on it briefly like one night when I was working for you, where there's not many spaces or many places where people actively talk about certain aspects of disability or put things on a pedestal. Maybe there is, or just like maybe I'm just closed-minded. Maybe there's a lot more,
I
but I
mean,
feel like
regardless if there is or not,
yeah, I think more of it is always
yeah,
good.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel because especially in the content creation space, it's quite crowded, and a lot of it is kind of just more entertainment
Yeah.
and distraction. This is kind of more like, here's this really cool guest. here's Dominic, here's like how we actually think, or this is kind of like how, this person living with this condition kind of views the world. And I think it's very helpful and insightful to have not only a platform where people can express those feelings, but also have it accessible to a broader public so that more people could just be informed in general,
Totally.
because I want more people to understand because we talk about advocacy a lot, where I talk to a lot of people out in the world in public, and they always ask me about questions about like SSI. I'm not joking, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like so like I'm like, oh, but like Dominic, he probably has a lot of money saved up. I'm like,
No,
no. And
no
like,
dog, no dog.
yeah, and then I have to like not lecture them, but give them like the spiel.
We'll just inform them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel there's a detachment or a disconnect between false narratives, reality, and how people think stuff work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like everybody's kind of like in there, and people just kind of make assumptions
Yeah.
of how your life is, but like they could be like closer to reality or just like way off the mark.
Yeah, totally. And that's the whole point of the podcast too, is to address those, fallacies or misunderstandings.
Because like probably the one that kind of boils my blood, the one that gets like talked about a lot is that comparing like disabled people or people in like welfare like as leeches of society.
Yeah.
Now that planet, like, dude, that pisses me off quite a bit.
That's a
It's
whole
like,
rabbit hole. That's a whole episode. Yeah.
yeah, or it's just like, so what? I guess they're not entitled to live like a comfortable life. All right,
Right.
I guess, you know what? It's just like I don't know. It's just very. I don't like talking about that kind of stuff because it can quickly devolve into like dehumanization,
Yeah.
which I'm not a fan of.
Get that, dude. I get that.
Yeah,
All right. Next question
I keep
was,
going on tangents. I'm bad.
no, you're
My
good.
bad.
You're good. Next question was, what do you think your life would have been like if you never went to college, and how would that have changed your path? Speaking of leeching.
No, it's your guy giving right. Who cares? Get that bread, get that bag.
Get the
That's always
bag.
it's all the kids on like, oh, you gotta chase the bag, you got the bag. Bro, you got your bag. Who cares? You know what I mean? Education is the price for education is jacked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we like like feel no shame. You know what I mean? Like stand proud. I did this shit. I
Yeah.
did this shit, you know?
Yeah. And I think this was uh somewhat similar of a question that I got from one of the high schoolers during the talk. They had asked me something along the lines of what kind of motivates you to do everything that you've done. Um,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the answer to this question. If I didn't go to college, I don't know what my path would have been because
Yeah.
being as physically disabled as I am, academics has always been something I felt like I had control of.
Hmm.
And we've talked about this before in the episode on control and whether people feel like they have it or don't.
Yeah.
You know, I like to try and control what I can control. And as I said, academics is one of those things. So for a long time, I spent a lot of time and a lot of effort on being as good a student as I could be. And so if I didn't go to college, I can't help but feel that there would be like this kind of void in myself or my development as a person because there was a lot of opportunities that going to UCLA, going to Hancock,
Hmm.
going to ASU all gave me that I believe contributed to who I am today, right? I don't,
I highly agree.
and I don't think
Yeah.
that's like a crazy thing to say, right? I think that
No.
that would be said the same of for anybody else in similar circumstances.
Yeah, because what college does is it greatly widens not only your opportunity but your horizons because all of a sudden you're talking to people that you would have normally haven't spoken to.
Yeah.
Like you got to keep in mind a lot of people go from like directly from high school where these like weird social cliques exist to essentially those social cliques are almost like more or less eroded
And not to
and
mention,
like
like,
everybody's just kind of like doing their own thing.
yeah, not to mention the increase in diversity and the people that you meet.
Oh yeah.
You know, our high school was really small. I forget what was it in our class? Was it a few hundred people?
Yeah, so when we spoke to the English teacher, we were surprised that our graduating class was probably the biggest, and then it's been getting smaller since then.
Yeah, it's wild.
So we were at least like 215, I think, like 214, 213.
Yeah, yeah, that's wild.
Um, which is a lot of people, you know? But like I think this freshman class is only like 180 something.
Hmm,
I forget. It was either 100 something or like essentially half what our class was.
that's wild.
So it's kind of interesting, like the downsizing of well, the community is quite small, but like I thought that was interesting.
But yeah, I think just to answer the question, life would have been I'm
A
gonna say
movie.
a
No,
movie.
just
I don't uh obviously I don't get caught up in what ifs or hypotheticals, but
yeah,
if I never went to college, I think my path would be vastly different. I wouldn't be probably doing this podcast, wouldn't probably be doing everything I'm doing now, radio work. So
yeah. I'm
yeah,
just gonna be honest, full-heartedly here. If I hadn't, I've been doing a lot of community college back and forth. I even took like a couple classes at CC. I've been a lot of community college. I know people like to crap on community college because it's not real college. It's blah 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 whatever. If it weren't for community college, like that like that taste of upper division and professors, I generally feel I would not have been as well spoken, well rounded, or as open minded as I am today.
hard
Like,
yes, yeah.
yeah, like full stop, like full on, like that, because people always say, like, oh, I do my own research, I do this, I do that. With college, you're kind of forced to actually look at actual evidence or actual like written work.
Critically think.
Yeah. And doing the work, actually doing the assignments and doing all that and like kind of like sitting with it. Not only it not only does it like rewire your brain differently, it also helps you to pick out fallacies, critically think faster. It's like this your brain's a muscle. Like the more you read and the more mental gymnastics you do, your brain will adapt to do that. Like full on. And we were talking about this the other day where towards the end of your bachelor's degree, you were writing like 12, 15, however, like super long papers, and it's just another Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's nothing. And I'd argue that a lot of people would struggle to like focus and get like a 10-page paper.
Well, I'll tell you,
It's crazy.
if I
Like,
was faced at UCLA in first couple years of being in university with writing a 12 to 15 page paper, I would have, I don't know what I would have done. Like that,
yeah.
I would have panicked.
Yeah, and it's kind of like college kind of forces you to adapt to that workload. It's one of those things, and like this is why community college is really important. I'll always advocate for it because you need to treat community college as a place to sharpen your skills and as a stepping stone to what you actually want. Because then you end up like me, paralyzed. Well, I'm figuring it out, but I've been there for a long time.
Yeah.
I got all my GED figured out, but for if you feel that your vocabulary, your writing, your speech, your grammar, your math, if you feel like all these skills that you feel like you should have mastered in high school feel dull or not quite to par, like homie to homie, friend to friend, sharpen those at community college.
Yeah,
Like, do the work. Like, no chat GPT. This is like, I'm like, you know what I mean? Just do it.
yeah.
Because if you can't learn time management now, he went to UCLA. You tell him, cooked.
There were several classes that I just had incompletes in
Yeah, no.
that, you know, if you can manage your time, if you can spend it efficiently doing what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Like it's gonna save you a lot of hassle
Yeah.
and headache
Yeah.
and money.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, like if you don't feel quite ready, take full advantage of it. And I mean take full advantage of it. If if like here in California, if they offer a free 2 year, get your GED banged out.
hey, I already have my bachelor's degree, and I was telling Yuri I just signed up for free courses at SBCC.
Yeah, man.
Like
It never ends.
the
We're
grind don't
always
stop. The
yeah, the
grind don't
grind never
stop.
like it doesn't it's one of those things as you get older. Don't feel ashamed about still being in school. Don't feel ashamed about any of this. We're all figuring it out. And ultimately, this is for us to essentially achieve what we believe is the best version of ourselves.
Yeah.
And if you're struggling with writing, math, speech, any of these things, the only way you're going to do it, it's like a sport. It's like a muscle. You're not going to get better at the sport if you just like join the class and sit on the bench all day. I'm trying to like relate it
Yeah.
to to the
To the
kiddos.
kids.
But you know what I mean? Like I've been there. It sucks. Nobody likes sitting down and doing assignments. Nobody likes doing homework. I relate to you on that. But start it early, figure it out, talk to your professor, be be comfortable with discomfort.
Yeah.
Like if you feel like tired, fatigued after reading, doing homework, like
That that means you're doing it
you're doing
right.
it right. Like yeah. Like if you're doing like math problems and you're doing your homework and you genuinely like, oh man,
And you're questioning whether or not you have ADHD because you can't focus for more than 30 minutes at a time.
you're
You're
doing
doing
it
it
right.
right.
You're doing it right. Yeah. Yeah. And like the more you do that, the faster you'll be, the sharper you'll be. Like like forgive me my language, but the master of bullshitting properly. You reach a state, the flow state, where you've worked so hard, every assignment easy. You know how to respond. Like what the professor wants is right there, and you've practiced so well, you know exactly how to find the information, and then bam,
Yeah.
bam, bam, bam.
And hour-long assignments turn into like 20,
Yeah,
30-minute long assignments.
it's a real thing. It happens. It happens. Like I banged out like two, it was actually three. I banged out two 3 to 4 page long like essay or like assignments. Here's the thing, I did all three. We were only going to get asked one of them.
Yeah.
So,
Weird flex, but okay.
but no, it's not even that. See, I don't even find it that difficult anymore.
Yeah.
But this is kind of an example of like what to expect where you're going to be expected to know a bunch of stuff and like have all these things written out and ready before the exam or before the assignment.
Yeah.
And I just copy and pasted it. I'm like, all right.
And
You know what I mean?
that's our TED Talk.
Well, it's time management, sharpen your skills, and also use it as like a testing ground to figure out what you like. Talk to your professors, figure it out.
Yeah.
It's the California is the biggest community college in Cal State. Like I think they spend the most money in the whole country.
Yeah.
Like they're goaded. If you live in California, if you don't, I got no experience.
Yeah.
You know, so
And we're not gonna say move here because have you seen the cost of living?
yeah, yeah. But that's my spiel on it.
So,
Yeah. Hopefully that's helpful. Oh, I forgot. And if you struggle, there are resources. Like if you're overwhelmed and feel like you can't do it, reach out.
our DMs are always open.
No, not to us, but reach out to your local community center. Like any resources, take advantage of it. Like if you do have ADHD or a disability or an invisible disability, there are programs, there are facilities, there are people to help you.
Yeah.
Like
And I know we've linked resources before on the podcast, like the Department of Rehab. And I think I've talked about my experiences with this office for students with disabilities
yeah,
before in the colleges I've attended. So yeah,
remember it's your education and how you do it is reflective of like who you are. And if you're not taking full advantage of resources or kind of half-assing it, you got to ask yourself, where do I want to be and who am I?
yeah,
And never feel ashamed or afraid to ask for help, to take a break, to drop a class, to ask for resources. Never.
bet
Yeah. Favorite spot in high school, the tree, but it's no longer there.
the tree
The tree.
by the
Um, it's like wherever they sold dance tickets. No, wherever they sold the yearbooks. By
uh,
it's the front of the campus. Like the
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
it's the front of the campus. Oh God.
The tree in the front.
Yeah,
Let's
but not
keep
the
it
very
simple.
front. It's next to the
By
cafeteria and the actual office.
yeah, the
It's
administration
like,
building.
yeah, by I don't know, kind of by the
Tree,
sand pit
tree,
tree. Yeah.
tree.
Oh, I think is that your answer too?
My favorite place is probably just like the spot we went to hang out at lunch and nutrition, the bench that we've mentioned before.
Yeah. Oh, I have several spots. I would hang out with friends on the bleachers at the track. I don't know if that's allowed now, but I used to hang out with people like just on the bleachers, just like
Yeah.
eating lunch and like talking about life and doing whatever. I got I got memories about that. That's
Heck
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's your dream, Udi?
Milk a cow.
Be you standing up?
Huh? Peace standing. Oh, what's my dream? I'll ask you first. What's your dream?
Such a loaded question. Uh,
Yeah. I mean,
I think I'll go with the simple answer.
milking a cow.
I just want the world to be a better place when I leave it than when I entered it.
Mm,
And, you know, doing everything I do is the steps to get there. So that's the dream.
that's a good dream, which is why I'm gonna copy it and double it.
Double or
Yeah,
nothing.
we were doubling it. Oh God.
Because I could sit here and
Wait,
tell you that I want to be famous, I want to get X amount of money,
it's
but
funny because our dreams are different.
that's a pipe dream.
No,
Let's be real.
my dream is very selfish. I just want to have a tiny apartment by myself with a dog
In Canada.
in Kent or just in the woods. I don't know. Just like being able to like now that I'm older, no longer on my parents' health insurance. Haha. Haha. It's coming for you. Get ready. Study up. Study up your premiums and all that. Um, once you hit 26, dude, wow, everything's expensive.
Once you hit 18,
Dude, yeah, dude. Wow. What a slap to the face health insurance was. Oh my goodness. But besides the point, um, I just want at this point, hopefully finish my education, whatever that looks like, and just be able to afford a tiny apartment with a cute dog and have my little gaming corner and
heck
just
yeah,
like do my 9 to 5, have cool coworkers and get paid enough just to like,
exist.
yeah, just to like support my minimalistic, frugal lifestyle. That's
He just wants
I want
Americano.
peace. I want peace.
He just wants his Americano once a week. That's all. That's all he asks.
Yeah, yeah, I just want to go to a cute cafe like once a week, sit down, read a good book, and like pet my doggy. That's all. I'm not asking for much. There you go.
All right. And then yeah,
But
next
also, yes, world peace is also pretty good.
that's a close second.
Yeah, clear, close second. I guess third. Not my main priority, but
What happens?
Yeah, if it happens, I mean, more power. I'm joking. Well, obviously, that's a nice dream. Oh, let's hope. Yeah.
Oh, and Niners Super Bowl. Uh,
Yeah. Good
on
luck
to,
with that.
on to the next question. Did you did you ever feel alone because you didn't have your parents? Siblings? How did you cope?
That's a deep one.
Loaded.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna plead the fifth on this
it
because,
doesn't relate.
yeah, no, this is for you.
So yeah, I had
Yeah.
mentioned to the high schoolers that, my parental situation was always a little wacky. I lost my father when I was 12 years old. He had passed due to liver and kidney failure. He was a heavy drinker and just didn't take real good care of himself. And so on the flip side of the coin, my mom also uh, has always struggled with alcohol as well and has always kind of been in and out of my life. And so I think that's what the question was aimed at. They I probably could have explained better, but in that short time, I didn't go into details.
Yeah, because that
I
wasn't like the main point
Yeah,
of the presentation,
right.
but
Main point was just, we all kind of go through struggles. No one has that perfect childhood nowadays, especially I feel like. And
yeah.
I never really felt alone, I would say. I had friends, and there's still a lot of people in my life that cared about me growing up.
Hmm.
Um,
Your
and
nurses.
especially my grandparents,
Yeah.
the goats. But yeah, especially when I moved to Santa Ynez and made all my friends here is when I really started to feel less of that sense of aloneness, or isolation. This is a very small valley.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody. And, I had siblings growing up too. I have four half brothers on my dad's side.
Wild, huh?
Wild. And unfortunately, I'm the shortest of all of them. But,
No, no, no,
we
no,
all
no,
have
no.
our challenges.
You can extend to 5'8", remember?
I'm still the shortest.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
we tried. We tried. But yeah, and the question I asked at the end, how did you cope? Uh, I would say, in the time that my dad passed and wasn't really talking to my mom, uh, it's tough to answer because that was so long ago. I just remember playing a lot of video games as a kid.
Yeah.
That has always been like a source of comfort for me. To kind of circle back to what I said earlier, I've always gravitated towards things that I feel like I have control over. Given the lack of control I do feel like I have in my life. And video games is one of those things. And I think that's a pretty popular take in the disability community, especially. A lot of people have found, a way to not just entertain themselves and have fun, but make money, like playing video games, like streaming professionally. So it's really, really cool. I like video games.
Hmm.
Um,
I find it interesting that when we were in high school, nobody in our sphere of influence really used terms like cope,
mhm.
you know? So it's like very interesting choice of words with this question.
Yeah.
Like what do you do to like ease the pain, distract yourself, or kind of,
Hmm.
it's like very interesting, like
Yeah.
the choice of words here. So hopefully the person that gave the question's doing all right.
Shout out then.
Yeah.
Were there any sports that you could play in college or high school? And did you play them?
You could have.
Could have.
You could have.
Kind of did. Kind of.
Uh,
I would just pull up to cross country practice
oh, and watch me. Yeah.
and like just roll alongside of you.
Yeah, dude, you're like the rabbit I couldn't catch.
I would like bring my little portable Bose speaker and just play like Eminem music.
Oh yeah. What came out during our high school? A lot of cringe like music came out during that time.
What are you thinking?
Oh, well,
Oh, uh,
I think
it's
high
Friday,
Friday.
Friday.
I mean, I am a Lamar super fan, but high school was awesome for Kendrick Lamar, right?
Mhm.
Because he dropped what to Pimp a Butterfly 2014.
Yeah.
Then our senior year was Damn.
Was that senior year or like the year after?
It was like summer, like we'd
Yeah.
already graduated, but that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. But like those are the only standout records that I remember.
Yeah.
It's like but for the rest, but yeah, most of it was like kind of like Friday, like Rebecca Black, like Katy Perry's,
Yeah.
um, or whatever.
But yeah, as far as sports that I played or could have played, uh, I could have played power soccer.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Always been an option. It's just a lot of traveling and figuring out, who's gonna help with me transporting my chairs, multiple,
That's probably like the trickiest thing with like disability sports is like
gear.
the travel
Yeah,
logistics. That always kind of like kills the fun for a lot of people.
yeah. But yeah, and then as I mentioned, I would hang out with Uriel. I had a free seventh period, and he would be in practice, and I would just go hang out with him while he was practicing. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was fun. I went to a couple of high school games, football games. I'm a big football guy, so it was fun.
And then how did you play them? Let's say you did. Maybe give them like a quick rundown on how the power soccer situation works.
The situation?
Or like how like the power chairs they use, or maybe like the milk cartons, give them a little a flavor,
Well, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
we
I'm gonna grab some water, but you answer that.
okay. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before with Yuli when we had my friend Ulysses on the program. I think that was shoot, coming up on a year ago now. It's been a while.
Yuli, nah.
Totally. Um, so Yuli, if you haven't seen that episode, he is a professional power soccer player. He is 20 years old and he plays for the Los Angeles Galaxy Power Soccer Club.
Which is crazy. Because like LA
Crazy.
Galaxy is like a legit like established like soccer powerhouse, out
Yeah.
here in the West Coast. Yeah.
And
I didn't know they did power soccer.
so yeah, he kind of broke it down everything in that episode, but just to kind of summarize, you're in a smaller, more compact wheelchair that goes a little bit faster, has quite a bit more acceleration than your average Permobile, and it has a guard attached to the front of the chair that surrounds your feet. And this guard is, think of like a metal cage just around your feet. You can use it to hit the ball. And that's basically how power soccer works. It's 5-on-5, I believe. And it's a lot of fun for people that want to play sports that may lack the mobility for your typical able-bodied sports. So
Yeah, that's really cool. There's some like clips, like some Yuli clips. It's pretty sick.
really is hard.
Yeah. But did you find it easier to make friends in college than high school?
Yes and no.
Yeah, it's gonna vary. It's gonna vary, yeah. Because I feel like even if you start community college or like a state school or following university, I feel like there's always that super awkward period where you're figuring shit out and you're like adapting to the new environment and like people come go, leave, whatever, and everybody's like so like focused, nervous, anxiety ridden, or just like to themselves that it could be kind of hard to find people, I feel.
I'll say this. I think it's easier to make friends once you know more about yourself.
Yeah, that's
I
for sure. Yep.
I think when you're younger in like high school, you're kind of not just starving for attention, but you're starving for a sense of belonging. And I was speaking from personal experience, would I would like adapt my personality to fit in with other people. And I think a lot of people do that too. At least that's the vibe I'm getting from Uriel's
Well,
face.
guilty. Yeah, we've all done it. We've all done it. It's like that middle school, high school angst. Like, oh, I don't want to be a like PUSSY in front of the home. You know what I mean?
Not in front of the homies.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, I'm no BICH.
BIT.
Oh, bitch. Sorry, my brain.
Actually,
Bish. Actually, bish.
um, see,
Uh, peer pressure. Yeah.
the problem with that is you you end up actually like isolating yourself more doing that because you're not staying true to who you are, your interests, your
Yeah.
values, and if you do that long enough, you're gonna forget who you are.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
recommend my recommendation is, um, you know, figure out what you like as quickly as possible.
There's
Do it.
no
No
hurry.
rush.
Like no pressure.
No
No hurry.
rush.
No, yeah.
Just get as many experiences as you can as soon as you can. Like
Yeah, that's the key here.
you wanna
Yeah.
play sports, go play a sport. You
Like,
wanna go join drama, go join drama.
and
Like
that's one of the beauties of college that people find really overwhelming, but also liberating, is that yeah, you still have friends from high school, but like those weird like social high school cliques are just kind of gone,
yeah.
and you're just by yourself, and for the first time you have like a lot of your own agency to like talk to whoever, do whatever. You don't gotta ask mom for permission, none of that. You're just out here,
Yeah,
you know, which is what you liked about college a lot, just like freedom.
yeah,
And a lot
definitely.
of people agree. It's just, yeah, I could just go wherever, do whatever, you know.
But yeah, it doesn't have to be real complicated either. If you find someone that like likes memes, send them memes.
Like,
Like you guys can bond over the simplest of things.
yeah, I think like to double down on that, I feel the older I get, the easier it is to make friends because as we get older, people start to figure out more or less who they are and what they like,
Yeah,
and they're more, I'd say, adamant or grounded in like their beliefs and like how they view themselves. And once that's done, it's easier to just relate to things. It's like, oh, the other day, like, oh, my knee popped. I'm like, your knee popped? Yeah, me too. It's like it sounds really simple, but like I feel like the older we get, like simpler things just become like full on conversations.
yeah, totally.
And it's just like, oh, like look at this, we're bonding. He,
Yeah,
not to be cringe with it, but like, yeah, because it's like when you're younger, people kind of crave that attention or that action, that dopamine. Like they want more from people or more from a conversation, I feel.
yeah,
At least I find myself, I was doing that when I was younger. You could probably relate,
definitely.
and it like goes into like this more of a transactional communication almost, where like I don't want to listen to my mom, I don't want to listen to my dad. Like if I talk to this person, what does it get for me?
Yeah,
Like that. And pay attention. You might have some of those tendencies and you probably didn't know you had them.
definitely.
You know what I mean? Like I'm guilty. Sometimes I have like moments like that. It's just you work on it.
All
But
right.
you know what I'm trying to.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
get you. All right, favorite food and favorite movie.
Uh-huh. Pepperoni pizza. Um, favorite movie? I'm gonna keep it simple. I think favorite movie this year. There's been some stinkers this year. Um,
Alien Romulus.
yeah, I think that's my favorite this year. That one, I'm not gonna count Godzilla minus one because that came out last year.
Yeah,
That was fun. Alien Romulus, it's pretty good. It stays pretty faithful to the original. I liked it. Plenty scary. It sucks that it was on Hulu for like a week and then they took it off. I hate streaming platforms. Like, come on.
what they did?
Like, yeah, it was on Hulu. Alien Romulus.
It's not anymore,
No,
dude.
remember
What?
you try to find it, but then you ended up watching like The Nun or
No,
whatever.
that was because McLovin didn't
Oh,
didn't want to watch it or something. I think it's still on Hulu.
oh, then double check. I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
it surprised me. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Favorite food?
Yeah.
Uh, just potatoes, man. Like,
Some papas.
like they're humble, they're warming, they're filling. It's just like if it were up to me, I'd probably have like home style potatoes, salt, pepper, with some like olive oil with like almost every meal.
Dude, that sounds so good.
It's this is great, man. It's just like look, like shout out to my tubers, you
Shout out
know,
to my
to my tubers. Like so much of human society has been built on the humble yam, the
yeah,
sweet potato, the potato. It's just it's up there, man. It's
Papa
just
Bless.
yeah, Papa. Yeah, it's really good. I love potatoes.
Okay, my favorite movie. I am not a huge movie watcher. Like, I don't watch them that often, to be honest. I haven't seen, I think the last really good movie I saw was Oppenheimer.
No, that's cool.
Very good movie though. All-time favorite movie, I have to go uh Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Kind of a controversial one.
Just because I really enjoyed the character arc of Anakin kind
Yeah,
of transforming into Darth
we
Vader,
did a
but
whole like essay analysis, you and I, on that.
yeah, well, I did. I
Yeah.
had an assignment for one of my last courses that I took to get my bachelor's degree was, I can't remember the name of it. It was like a rhetorical analysis class. Um, so long story short, I decided to write my final paper doing a rhetorical analysis of Revenge of the Sith. And that was really fun. Oh, I enjoyed
It
it.
was well written. And like we were going for that film, we were like genuinely surprised. It's like, oh, like the fall of Anakin's pretty good. It's like
Yeah.
like there's a like there's intention here. Like the writers are trying.
Yeah.
Like we saw like an insecure, awkward young man that felt he deserved positions that he was overqualified for, like the ego, the
Yeah.
frustration. Like we saw it all
Well, I
there.
think it's deeper than this that too, is
Yeah.
the fact that being a Jedi forced you to be isolated from having relationships,
Yeah.
right? Like he didn't have his mom, he couldn't have Padme.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole lot kind of going on
And
there.
he's essentially been groomed
Yeah,
since the start. So there's a like when you look at the film like that, it's kind of like it's awkward why he's kind of like a whiny teenage, kind of like annoying, like egotistic. It all makes sense.
yeah,
It's just like and I feel like Hayden Christensen tried his best to portray that, and I feel like that's one of like the film's biggest like critiques is like his acting.
yeah.
But like I think
He is
what
perfect, I
yeah,
think.
I think when you approach it kind of like that and kind of like get deeper to it, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I would have been able to like portray some of that angst as
People
well.
people will hear the lines, well, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil, and be like, oh, he sounds like so whiny. But
He's a young dude that has not been given a lot of outlets to like socially, emotionally regulate himself.
yeah,
So if he comes off as like a child, that's real. Like I've seen plenty of adults that had like toddler like hissy fits.
yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like that's real.
And they don't even have the weight and the responsibility of protecting the galaxy on their
Well,
shoulders.
yeah, I'll hopefully be giving you a whole new perspective on the third episode. Like we dug pretty deep into it. I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah, he is like kind of like an emotional whiny. Yeah, because he is. But
And then my favorite food, chicken,
potato. Oh,
the humble chicken.
um,
Literally chicken anything. I like barbecue chicken, fried chicken. Or I'll even mess around with some boiled chicken if you
deep
give it to me.
fried. Yeah.
It's just a good source of protein. It's lean. It's easy for me to eat. I can just somebody cuts it up for me, I
Mhm.
stab it, put it in my mouth.
So many chicken spots to pick from.
No muss, no fuss.
No muss, no fuss. Yeah.
It's yeah.
Um, oh, to piggyback. Favorite movie this year was Alien Romulus. I think my favorite movie of all time is Everything, Everywhere,
All at
all at
once.
once.
Really?
That made me
Okay, good.
cry. That made me cry. And it's so good. I watched it twice.
I'll have to watch that.
I cried. I had like an existential meltdown in the theater. I loved it. Cinema. Cinema. That was good. That was really generational trauma. This is the existentialism, cynicalism, a lot of and like there's like a tiny little team of people, super low budget. They went crazy with the special effects. It's just really cool.
We're like halfway done, and it's been like an hour. Do you want to like call it here and do like a part two some other time?
Sure.